Think other Democrats are watching their words?
I think it's certainly possible, but I'm not sure. I mean, I cannot think of or point to any individuals who have said that. I do think that there are Democratic members of Congress who are preparing for that possibility.
How do they prepare?
I think they look to the possibility of litigation. I think they're saying, do we have the best teams possible in order to carry out our work?
Some Republican, or many perhaps, will be watching this, listening to this, and thinking, wait a minute, actually, you're the ones who are prosecuting us. You are the guys who are weaponizing the Justice Department. How would you respond to somebody who may be thinking that?
In what way?
One of the Democratic Party's most recognizable figures, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, appeared visibly unsettled when an NPR interviewer unexpectedly pierced her carefully crafted narrative. That's what made this exchange so striking. NPR is usually considered friendly ground for AOC, not a place where she'd face serious resistance. Yet this time, the questions landed with real force. The atmosphere shifted. The discomfort was obvious. And it raises a compelling question. Was this just an unusually bold interviewer, or are internal changes, possibly tied to shifting political winds and federal funding pressures, quietly altering NPR's approach? Let's unpack exactly what happened.
I'm interested if you or your fellow Democrats are at all feeling intimidated or silenced or anything.
I'm not. I think it's important to call this administration's bluff. I think that this is what authoritarians do. I think this is what kleptocracies do. I believe that this is what corrupt administrations do. They rely on the illusion of power, on the suggestion of coercion in order to try to get people to comply in advance. And I think that one of our largest responsibilities is to not comply in advance. If they want to do these things, they can go ahead and do them and let the American people see what they intend to do.
If you're hearing this interview without context, you might come away thinking the country is sliding toward authoritarianism, because framing everything as an emergency has become a familiar strategy on the left. But the moment that truly shifted the conversation came when the host posed a deceptively simple question. Does the left actually believe it's being silenced? OC froze. The pause that followed wasn't subtle. It was long, uncomfortable, and revealing. She clearly recognized this wasn't a question she could dodge, dramatize, or spin without exposing contradictions. And just when it seemed like the tension peaked, the interview took an even sharper turn.
Some Republican, or many perhaps, will be watching this, listening to this, and thinking, wait a minute, actually, you're the ones who are prosecuting us. You are the guys who are weaponizing the Justice Department. How would you respond to somebody who may be thinking that?
In what way? In what way? Is the very presence
Putting Trump on trial would be their example, I suppose.
Yes. I mean, here's the deal. In the United States, there is a jury where we are judged by our peers, and he was found guilty in court on 34 felony charges. If people want to say it was weaponized, I mean, it is hard-pressed to say that there's a partisan argument for that.
That's when another pointed question cut straight through standard Democratic messaging. Democrats frequently argue that Trump is abusing the justice system, while critics counter that similar tactics were used against him for years. And if you listen closely to AOC's response, many hear an implicit admission that legal and institutional pressure was applied throughout Trump's presidency. She frames it as accountability, but the implication is unmistakable. If those methods were justified then, why is it unacceptable now? You can't enforce a strategy, normalize it, and then cry foul when it's mirrored back at you. The interviewer then pivoted to immigration, and AOC's reaction spoke volumes.
To what extent is immigration as an issue part of your problem with working class voters?
I mean, I guess my question would be, what does the word problem mean?
People voting for the other side and not for you.
Yeah.
Feeling that Democrats are not serious about the issue in ways that concern them.
I think that we have a problem on immigration because of the lack of progress that we've had on this issue. And as we know, Republicans weaponized that lack of progress. Of course, there was famously a bipartisan bill last year that the Republican majority in the Senate and also in the House were willing to pass. President Biden was willing to work with them on it. And Donald Trump said, do not solve this problem.
This is where the discussion becomes especially revealing. Despite years of grand promises and moral declarations, critics argue Democrats failed to resolve the core issues at the border while holding power. When Kamala Harris was tasked with overseeing the situation, conditions didn't merely stagnate, they deteriorated rapidly. The result was one of the most significant border crises in recent history, with repeated surges and no durable plan in place. Rather than addressing the concerns of the communities most affected, party leaders leaned heavily on symbolism and broad rhetoric. Eventually, the gap between words and reality became impossible to ignore.
It is a problem not just for Democrats, it's a problem for the entire country that Republicans do not want to solve any sort of issue with immigration. They are completely uninterested in addressing undocumented people, in addressing a path to citizenship.
Well, they do want to address undocumented people by removing them. I mean, that's what the president is attempting now.
That's why the NPR host's pushback surprised so many people. Whether supporters like his approach or not, even critics acknowledge that Trump has shown a level of persistence on immigration enforcement few recent leaders matched. His administration targeted illegal entry networks, disrupted smuggling operations, and reinforced border security in ways previous administrations talked about but rarely executed. You can criticize his tone or methods, but his focus on outcomes is hard to dismiss. That contrast didn't help AOC's position in the interview.
Why do you think this issue did seem to be a political loser for Democrats among key groups and key constituencies, if what you say is true?
I think that a lack of a path to citizenship in the United States, the lack of addressing comprehensive immigration reform, creates a large population of undocumented people in the United States. We have a large population of undocumented people in the United States. Overwhelmingly, it is not because they crossed the southern border of the United States. It's because they came here in a documented fashion and overstayed a visa and became undocumented. And it is the lack of ability for us to expand paths to citizenship, modernize paths to citizenship over decades that create this bubbling issue.
It's rare to see AOC this rattled in a public conversation. You can almost sense her scrambling internally to keep her talking points intact. Then comes the claim that raises eyebrows. She insists the immigration crisis exists because there's no clear path to citizenship. No clear path? That assertion collapses under even basic scrutiny. Millions of immigrants have followed legal routes to citizenship over decades. Public figures, refugees, entrepreneurs, countless examples contradict that claim. The reality is simple. The system may be flawed, slow, or demanding, but it exists. When pressed on inconsistencies like this, critics say the left often blurs definitions and shifts language rather than addressing the substance.
Republicans are allowed to weaponize.
And you have voters in places like Arizona, which is a swing state that Democrats lost, or Colorado, which is generally a blue state, saying there's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of lawlessness.
Yes.
I don't know what to do here. Who's looking out after me?
And I think when that is paired with divestment from the social safety net, when that is paired with lack of progress on minimum wage, when that is paired with rising costs of living, it sets the stage for a strong man to point to any marginalized group and say it's their fault.
At this stage, AOC appears eager to distance herself from the fallout of the Biden administration's border policies. Watching her now suggests she bears no responsibility borders on ironic. Critics argue Democratic leadership weakened enforcement mechanisms, which contributed directly to the surge in illegal crossings. Now, as Trump moves to reverse those policies, they respond with outrage, condemning him for addressing a crisis they downplayed for years. The timing hasn't gone unnoticed.
Holman was upset, I suppose, because he felt that you were giving advice to people who were here illegally. Were you?
I was giving advice to all of my constituents.
He said he was going to report you, or even that he did reach out to the Department of Justice. Have you heard from the Department of Justice?
I have not, and I intend on reaching out to the Department of Justice to inquire.
Really? What would your question be for the Department of Justice?
Well, there is a member of the Trump administration who is threatening and seeks to open an inquiry. And are you going to do it?
What would you learn? What do you hope to learn from that exchange?
I think it's important to know where this administration stands and if they intend on using political intimidation to silence their critics.
You can almost pinpoint the exact moment AOC's composure falters when the interviewer questions why she offers guidance to individuals in the country illegally. It's one of those rare, unscripted moments where messaging collides with reality. She insists the party is committed to enforcing immigration law while maintaining compassion. But critics hear something very different. In trying to balance both positions, her response exposes a contradiction that the interviewer doesn't let slide.
Do you think there is a real risk of lawmakers being investigated, charged, arrested?
Potentially. I mean, we see that this administration is certainly wielding that threat, and we will have to see if they intend on carrying out their threats. If they are to be believed for what they are publicly suggesting, then the answer would be yes. But we will only find out if we call their bluff.
Do you think other Democrats are watching their words?
I think it's certainly possible, but I'm not sure. I mean, I cannot think of or point to any individuals who have said that. I do think that there are Democratic members of Congress who are preparing for that possibility.
No one here is being silenced, and it's time to state that plainly. Free speech has never meant immunity from consequences. When false, reckless, or defamatory claims are spread, accountability follows. Over the past several years, countless narratives were pushed with little regard for accuracy, fueled by politics rather than facts. Now, when Trump signals he may pursue legal action against those he believes knowingly misled the public or damaged his presidency, it's suddenly framed as an attack on democracy. But that response ignores precedent. Democrats themselves normalized using legal mechanisms to enforce accountability. What's happening now isn't censorship, it's consistency. By the end of the interview, AOC's messaging appeared exposed, and NPR's unexpected firmness only made the contradictions clearer. If accountability is now uncomfortable, that discomfort is self-inflicted. One-sided narratives don't survive scrutiny forever. And with that, we wrap up today's video. If you found this breakdown useful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.